All right, guys, welcome back to From the Beach to the Bar. This is Jess and my podcast. Going through the legal... Fuck it, I'm going to start again. All right, guys, welcome back to From the Beach to the Bar. This is Jess and my podcast that we've been doing for a year, unlike some of you new people who are doing podcasts. Yeah, I'm hating. On this show, we're back to the judicial edition. We have Colleen Brown, who has actually... I mean, you're not officially a judge till January, right, but you were the only one running. And then obviously that cute son of a bitch Jess is right next to her. And then we have the ladies. We have Sage and Tams over there. So Colleen is a chief deputy district attorney. She put in for a seat where the judge is no longer running. And she lucked out in that nobody opposed her. So in January, she will transition from... not a lady to a dude, but from a DA to a judge. So our questions are going to be a little bit different for Colleen, obviously, because we know she's going to be a judge as opposed to Pete, who was running to be a judge. And by the way, as an update for everybody, Pete did get appointed to the spot. So technically he is an interim judge right now, and hopefully he will win when the election comes up. But Colleen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. And Jess and I how long have we known you, Colleen?
16 and a half years.
Wow, that's
you're old.
Yeah, I know. I know.
All right, so give us your background. Like, we know that you've been a DA forever, but how'd you get there?
So, I don't know if you remember this, but in 2008, the economy collapsed, right?
No.
What? And all of my friends who had applied to civil firms were having their offers revoked.
Okay, but hold on. Rewind. Before we even hit the law school stuff, like, where'd you grow up?
Oh, you want me to start at the beginning?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. From when you were a zygote. Start from
well,
there.
I'm probably not going to get that specific because that's kind of icky when you think about your parents like that. But
I don't know. Jess is into it.
Say more. No. So I'm.
Notice he crossed his legs, by the way.
Gross. So I'm actually from Wisconsin.
Don't you know?
Yes, that's also kind of Minnesota. My family is
all you Midwesterners
still
sound
there.
Like.
Well, yes, we do. We sound lovely and nice. Mm-hmm. And
Jess and I are talking about buying a bar in Green Bay, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You should definitely do that.
Right,
but make sure it's by the stadium.
Yes.
It's on the north side of the stadium, I believe.
Right next to the stadium.
It's possible I've already been there.
Bet you have.
Uh-huh.
So Packers fan?
In college. No, I had to give that up for my wedding. That's another conversation.
Oh.
So,
wait, we're gonna have to dive into that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it's the only gift I could give my husband was my allegiance to his football team. So.
Which is?
The 49ers.
Oh, okay. He's cool. He's totally cool.
Yeah, are you better
he's
now?
cool. He's
okay.
fucking awesome.
He's smartest man alive.
We've been married for a long time, I agree.
Hell yeah.
So,
all right. So, grew up in Wisconsin.
Yes.
College.
Wisconsin, Marquette. I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee.
Oh, the alma mater of Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
Indeed,
yes.
he was there when I was there.
Jimmy Butler.
Lovely person. And also, Chris Farley went there too.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. He did.
I share some similarities with Mr. Farley.
Because you have a van by the river?
Yes, and weight problems.
So after that, I went to law school at the University of Wisconsin. And then during the economic collapse, I applied to judge.
Cutting her off again. Did you go to Wisconsin-Madison?
Yes.
Okay, now in the state of Wisconsin, if you go to law school in the state, you do not have to take the bar. Once you graduate law school, you're automatically a lawyer.
Really?
So
no. Some people learn that the hard way.
What happened?
You have to actually take the bar classes, which is not hard because for the most part they're required.
Like Barbary type class or what?
Essentially, the classes that would have been tested on the bar exam. So the secure transactions, the family law, the common law.
Oh, in law school you have to take.
Yes, you have to take
Got
those.
you.
But on top of that, you also have to pass the character and fitness.
Everybody has to pass that.
Unless you forget to talk about that party y'all went to, and someone else did talk about that, and some people had some. Yeah, they had some hard times with that. But for the most part, assuming those
that
two
wasn't
things
you
are,
though.
No.
Let's just differentiate. Wasn't you?
No, I didn't go to the party.
Okay, good for you.
My boyfriend was still in Milwaukee. I was traveling there all the time.
You didn't have any boyfriends before the 49er fan husband.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure he knows I did.
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, nope, definitely didn't. So after that, obviously once you take those things, then yes, it's called diploma privilege, and it's the only state left in the union that has that.
All right. So I was thinking, did you get diploma privilege when you graduated?
Yes, June 9th, 2009.
And so your family's there, you graduate from there, you're licensed there without taking a bar, you're in Nevada.
My grandparents lived here, and they lived here for a long time by the time I applied for a job here, but I applied here. I applied on the West Coast. I applied on the East Coast. I applied obviously in the Midwest, and this job just sounded like the most adventurous one.
Okay, so the question becomes, because it's funny, because Jess is like the weirdest dude ever. He was in Hawaii, which is wonderful. He decided to go to law school in Michigan, where it's fucking freezing.
Really cold there. Yeah.
It's kind of cold.
Very cold. I hope you had a jacket.
Yeah. No, when I got there, I didn't have a jacket.
Oh, honey.
I remember I had to catch the city bus to like
The mall to get one.
Menards or whatever they have. Yeah.
Oh, Menards.
And it was like in December.
Oh no.
Michigan, December. I had no
like
jacket.
A puffer coat.
It was awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So Michigan.
Was the jacket bigger than you were?
It was.
Yeah.
It was like Ralphie from what's that?
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
So you come out here. You know the guy who did Christmas Story also directed Porky's. I just learned this today.
Weird.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, it was a movie in the 80s. Yes. Yes. Wholesome and not so wholesome. So you come out here. When you move out here, you got your grandparents. Do you have anybody else?
No.
Okay. Were you living with your grandparents?
For 2 months, and then just until I could find an apartment. They wanted me to be more careful about where I lived, because when you don't live here, you don't know where you should go or what neighborhoods are the right place or what's by what. So I stayed there for about 2 months, and then I got an apartment on Charleston and Rainbow, actually.
There you go. Now, so your first job out the gate was district attorney.
Here, yeah, a law clerk.
As a law clerk.
At the district attorney's office.
And one of the things we talked about with Pete, if you guys remember, is that Pete lucked out in that some of the law clerks didn't pass the bar, so he got to be a deputy district attorney right away. What Colleen did is she followed the traditional path, and she was a law clerk, which essentially means you handle the appeals for the district attorney's office.
Yes, and honestly, that experience is invaluable. You get a really good sense of, first of all, how the office works, and then secondly, the types of things that you'll be doing once you become a deputy district attorney.
Okay, now were you there when Leon was in the appellate?
Yeah, I gave that guy stickers because his notes on some of our stuff was really, he needed some stickers to lighten it up a little.
Now, Leon was this guy who was around the district attorney's office for years. Older guy.
It's awesome.
And he was a character. Like, he was with his wife for fucking ever, right? But he hated her. And he would tell you all how much he hated his wife. And yet he was still with her.
Okay, listen, he might say that, and then maybe what do they call it, like locker room talk, but ultimately, sometimes if you walked by and they're on the phone, like, it was a different story. They loved each other.
But at the same time, if you walked by and he was on the phone with his wife, some of those were very colorful conversations, is my understanding.
Passion is what passion is, I guess. I don't know.
See, and this is why she's a judge. She's very smooth. But, so you're a law clerk. You learn how the office works. You do the appeals, for the DA's office. Yes. And then eventually you become what we call a track deputy, which is you're in court.
And that's where we met.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yep, I know. Aren't you so lucky?
Who was your first track judge? Do you remember?
So I actually had Jansen and Zimmerman. And then after that,
Judge Jansen, he is an older gentleman. He's got to be close to 90.
He's over 90.
Yeah. And great guy. Great guy. He's got crazy eyebrows. Still is a substitute judge.
That's it.
Entertaining as all heck.
We just saw, when was this? Last week we had a case with him?
Jansen.
Yeah, he was covering for Bonaventure.
Or was it Noreen?
Noreen.
Oh, he was covering. Oh,
Noreen,
yeah, on that one case I had. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
So yeah, there's Judge Jensen. Great guy.
That's not Judge
also
Jensen.
from Michigan, I might add, just like you, Jess.
Oh, actually, if you go back to that, you can see there I am. If the second row, third picture from the left.
Oh, there you are.
There she is.
Look at me. I'm so little in that picture.
Is that Jack?
Yeah, there's Jack.
Yeah. It was you can see it was a homicide. Someone got into a fight at a casino and the man died.
Oh, was that the one punch homicide?
I don't know if that was the same one or a different one, because I know afterwards, Jonathan Cooper, it might have been the same one. Jonathan Cooper and Maria Lavelle took the trial, so possible.
Yeah, okay. And if it's the case I was talking about, essentially there was a high school football coach from Florida. He came out here. Somebody was inappropriate with his wife, I believe, for the backstory, and then he literally hit the guy in the face. Guy falls down and dies. The end.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was the same one.
Yeah, I think was it at O'Shea's?
It was the same one.
Oh,
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, it was the same one. Yeah.
That. Thank you for my photographic memory, by the way, people.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
well done.
I don't remember what I did this morning. Jeez.
All right.
Here.
True. I ended up here somehow.
Nailed it.
First track was Jansen and
Zimmerman.
And Zimmerman just retired. Love her to death. Amazing person. I've had drinks with her. She always shows defense attorneys up, though, when you're in court.
No, she doesn't.
Girl, you're not a defense attorney.
I know.
Notice how quiet Jess is right now, and he's playing with his buttons.
He doesn't normally do that?
I don't know.
I love Ann. She's a wonderful
love
person.
everyone.
Socially a little awkward. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Listen, I might live in a world of rose-colored glasses,
You
but
do.
I never saw any of that. Every time I appeared in front of her, she was nice to both people. I think she got a little frustrated when the DA's office kept sending new people in there sometimes, but that can be frustrating for anyone.
Well, all the judges have to deal with new people.
Yes.
All right, so first trial.
Bait purse.
So people, what a bait
Yeah.
purse is in a casino,
Bait purse.
what they will do is they will unconstitutionally leave a purse, and they'll see who picks it up.
Well, that's debatable, but my
Entrapment.
I don't know. But this
They
is
were
not-
just walking into the security
Look,
cage.
maybe you need to do a PSA, but this is not a finders keeper state. So if you find it, just leave it or give it to security. That's just generally a better rule of thumb. But I think, it was a bait purse. I did that trial with Alex Chen. My husband came to watch the closing.
But hold on, let's rewind. So bait purse case once again. They leave a purse in a casino. Obviously, a lot of cameras. Metro hangs out. Somebody picks up the purse. If they walk
you
in the
steal
wrong
something at a
direction,
casino?
they get arrested.
Like-
Now,
Or they steal the stuff out of it. I mean,
usually they go to the. Yeah, but actually, you did.
Why does anyone want to steal in a casino? Like, you gotta imagine that's probably the most
Well, I would say
camera-heavy place. Oh.
so at the time there was a
know
rise.
that. I
If you
know
want
that.
to know the reason, at the time there was a rise in crimes towards our tourists, which at the time was our primary income for Nevada. And because there was a rise in crimes targeting tourists at the casinos, the decision was made to do this targeted law enforcement operation where they would try to see the people that were just walking around waiting for the people who were drunk to leave wherever they were and take the items that they left behind.
So entrapment. Yeah.
No,
Jess doesn't really know the definition of entrapment.
I'm sure
It
he
sounds
does.
good,
Go
though.
ahead.
You know that case that made the entrapment case law famous was
You mean in the nation?
yeah.
Specifically. Okay.
What's the DeLorean case?
Oh, the car.
Yeah, the owner of the DeLorean, John DeLorean. John DeLorean?
Yeah, he loved cocaine.
Well, that's how that's like the seminal
I feel like you
entrapment
might want
case.
to put allegedly in there.
No, it's well documented he loved cocaine.
And that's why they tried to go after him. They tried to do some kind of buy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he imported a shit ton of cocaine, if I remember correctly.
Well, he has a time machine car. Of course
Yeah,
he can.
right. Go back in time, invent
Why
cocaine.
Maybe with sugar.
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts.
All right. So you do a bait purse case, and you do it with Alex Chen. Alex Chen is a district attorney who is currently on the gaming.
No, he's
Athletic
like
Commission.
number
he's
3.
He's one of three
Yeah, he's like 2 or
assistant
3.
district
Yeah.
attorneys.
He's up there, man.
No, well, in terms of the
Four.
DA's office, yes, he is the number 2 or 3 DA. It's him. Steve Wolfson obviously is the capital D, capital A, and then his 2 lieutenants, his 2 capos
He has 4 of
are
them.
Pam Weckerly and Alex Chen. Ooh, there's 4 now.
Yes, because Karen Cliff is the assistant district attorney over our of one of our other divisions.
Civil doesn't count.
And then Lisa, no, it's not civil. And then Lisa Logston is civil.
Oh,
Is it juvie? What is it?
So the child welfare division.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
that.
deadbeat dad.
No, it's also juvenile. Like she's the head of both because they're under that. umbrella.
I didn't know that.
Juvenile is kind of like juvenile crimes, but also like child support and things like that. And like child support and dealing with that stuff is terrible and awful. And so we try to stay away from it. However, in personal injury, you will often get liens from the DA's office about child support, and you have to pay those or you are liable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so we,
I know so.
yes, Sage has to deal with that right now. What is it, 30 grand?
35.
Yeah, 35 grand on one dude in outstanding
I
child
know
support.
who you
Well.
speak of.
Yeah.
There's a reason that division exists.
Did I tell you that guy got picked up over the weekend?
No way.
No,
Wait, did I?
that's surprising.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie because he has a warrant.
Well,
He
not
doesn't have a
anymore.
warrant anymore.
Yeah.
It's clear now.
Yeah.
It's cleared.
We will take care of it, don't you worry. Not going to say names. So it's you and Alex Chen, and
Yeah.
like, we're going on these huge tangents. But drawing it back,
Still fix it.
first trial, it's you and Alex Chen on the prosecution. Who's the defense attorney?
Harmony Letitia.
Harmony Letitia, who is
and
currently a judge in Justice Court 3.
She is, and I can't remember the other person at the moment.
And ironically, her dad, I think, is your campaign manager,
Indeed.
Ooh.
Tom Letitia. And she was on his podcast earlier.
December.
Yes. So, and Tom is kind of like one of the two, because Dave came back, right?
Yes. He
Yeah,
has
so
some
Tom Letitia and Dave Thomas are like the two campaign managers that most people want to get when you're running for, you know, whatever. Any political position, any judicial position, those two guys are very connected. They help you out in terms of laying the foundation of this is what you have to do to be successful.
Yes. That's the idea.
Yes. And Dave is a D and Tom is an R. But this is a nonpartisan race, so that does not apply to you. Yes.
Honestly, we never had that conversation.
No, I just remember I ran
Oh, so you know.
unsuccessfully.
So you know.
I do.
I'm sorry for you.
Oh,
That
I'm
happened
not.
to you.
I'm not. I'm rich.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That was a lie. So, first trial, it's against Harmony and somebody you don't remember. What was the
I
outcome?
do remember, but
Oh.
but I don't want to get her last name wrong. It was guilty. It was on video. You know what I mean? It's like hard to say, no, that's not me. I didn't take that person in the bathroom and take the stuff out of it. So
Oh, that's what they did.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
not
yeah.
Usually the argument you use when you're a defense attorney and somebody steals a purse is you say, oh, they were walking into the security cage and they didn't know where it was, and so
No.
they just happened to walk outside.
That guy walked into the bathroom and definitely took the stuff out of it. So that one was guilty, but the next one was
Next trial?
yes, it was also guilty on many of the charges, but it was a process server claiming that they served people with evictions when they didn't.
Oh, that's so dirty.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and what that means, the process server is the guy who hands you the paperwork that says you have to appear in court.
Yeah,
And so,
if you don't, then you get default judgment against
yeah,
you,
and
that's what
so
happened
in a
lot.
situation like that, if they don't review the paperwork, it means you don't know,
Right.
and then all of a sudden they file this paperwork that's called a default that says that you're not contesting it,
Right.
and then they just show up and kick your ass out. You can't get
And
your
you had
shit.
no idea. Yeah, you had
Yeah,
no idea.
it's terrible. All right, but so 16 and a half years in the DA's office.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to run for judge. Let's use words because we don't have a court reporter.
You
but
don't
at the
like
same time, is that a yes? No.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
There you go. So 16 years. What made you decide to run for judge? Like, obviously, you didn't know the seat was going to be open, meaning
No.
that you didn't know. Well, you knew the seat was going to be open, but you didn't know that nobody was going to run against.
Why now is really your question.
What's that?
Why now is really your question.
You're
Yes.
smart, and I'm dumb.
You're not dumb.
Oh,
So I actually put in for the Henderson Justice of the Peace appointment in 2023.
I remember
The
that.
one that went to Barbara Skifalakwa.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
Judge
forgot.
Skifalakwa.
Please tell me I gave you money.
No, we can't raise money for that. So judges actually
Oh,
can't.
you put in for the appointment.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
My bad.
Yeah, so I made it to the top 5, and then Barbara, Lance, and Marla made it to the top 3. So I was just happy to.
And that would be
like,
Barbara Skifalakwa, who's the sitting judge who got the appointment.
Yes.
Lance Hendren, who is a gentleman who is running for judge again.
Marla Renteria.
Marla Renteria, who is a public defender. Is she still doing domestic violence cases?
She's actually in the special public defender's office now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's the number 2. She's the
Okay.
number 2 there under Virginia Iacre. So they all went forward, and of course they're really awesome candidates, so that made a lot of sense. But that was the first process where I thought that maybe this was a real path for me, not just like
Okay.
a pipe dream. Then I wasn't really thinking about it this year. I'm not gonna lie. My husband was thinking about changing airlines, and so sometimes working parents have to make choices that are better for their families as opposed to themselves at the time. And so it wasn't my turn, right? It was my husband's turn.
Fair.
It wasn't my turn. Well, in October, both my husband and my boss were like, "You should really think about this. Even if I'm doing this other thing, my husband specifically, like it's fine. You should think about it." So I did start thinking about it, and I chose this department in particular. Not because I have any animus towards Erica Blue. I actually enjoy her very much. The issue was she was going to draw an opponent, and we need competent people on the bench. And I'm not saying that whoever was going to put in there would not have been competent, but at the point, we didn't know who it would have been, and so I made the decision to run in that department. But I did go and meet with her before I made it public or whatever, and just let her know kind of where I was at. And honestly, if she had chosen to run, it was probably going to be the nicest campaign ever. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anything, right?
Realize that Colleen is about to be a judge, so she's bound by certain things. I'm about to give you all the tea. All right,
you're
here's how
not.
I 100%
We don't need
am.
to go into
The
any of this.
fuck I'm not.
We don't need to go into because it's not relevant. It doesn't matter.
This is the only time I'm going to shush you. I'm
Ben,
going to walk
it
in
doesn't
late and you're going
matter.
to sanction me.
At the end of the
Stop
day, it
it.
doesn't matter,
Stop
Ben.
it.
I'm gonna
Stop
clap. I'm gonna
We
keep
can,
Oh my
clapping.
God.
we can
Stop
clip it out. We can cut it out.
We can. We're not going to.
You
but
should
we can.
definitely not get into it.
No, but here's. I'm not going to talk about all the negative shit if that's what you're talking
they
about.
can just look it up in the paper
No,
if they
girl,
care.
stop. I'm going to talk about the original race. And so here's what happened. Erica's a public defender, sweet lady. I'm not like trying to talk bad about her. And then one of our friends, Dan Gilliam, decided to run. And Erica paid the filing fee, whatever it was. Is it $250?
I feel like it was one something.
Okay, whatever it was, they both paid the filing fee. Dan worked his ass off. He got every endorsement. He was a former prosecutor and a former PD. Police endorsed him. You know, everybody endorsed this guy. Labor endorsed him. Great guy. I love him. He's like a brother. Literally everybody in the world thought he was going to win. Erica did the filing fee, didn't do any interviews, didn't do any, like, did she do any advertising or anything?
No.
Nope.
And when it came, she won, and she won by a decent amount. And I was crushed for Dan because I love the guy and I know how much he wanted it. But she literally just paid a filing fee, didn't do shit, and she sailed into being a judge. And subsequently, some things happened to where it became a headache for her, and she decided, like, this is too much and I don't want to run, which is fair. And so that's when Colleen decided to run.
Yes,
But it was entertaining to watch the whole process and know that she essentially Peter Principled her way into a judgeship.
she wasn't the only candidate. 2020 was a weird year.
It was
I
a
ran in
very
2020,
weird year.
remember?
Yes.
Very
Yes,
weird
I got
It was a-
smoked.
It was a very weird year.
And I'm glad I did. Susan Johnson, I love you. You're a wonderful judge.
I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that.
No, I told her that too when I was on her track.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, I was on her
Yeah.
track. No, I think she's great.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she won. She's much better at it than I would be.
Well, you could always run against me in 6 years if you want.
I will never run to be a judge.
Oh, you weren't expecting that?
No, that wasn't. That was.
Oh well.
You are nice.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's a public position. I'm currently a public servant. To
Girl,
me, it's similar.
Stop.
You know?
Like, you're going to be a good judge. Like, when all said and done, you're nice. And, like, niceness is not necessarily quality
No.
to be a judge. But at the same time, like, and we're going to get into this in a sec about what she does now, but, like, you're good at cutting through the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Well,
you're
who's got
also.
time for that?
That's fair. But at the same time, like, you're also honest in terms of, right now you're being very polite, but you're honest in terms of proving up a case.
Oh yeah.
And so, in terms of the criminal aspect, and we'll get into the civil in a sec, but in terms of the criminal aspect, you know how to assess the case, you know the weaknesses on both sides, and you're not going to put up with a lot of bullshit. Yeah, on both sides.
I know you don't have a court reporter, but I think my head nod got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, we're not worried in terms of actually, we're not worried in terms of anything, but in terms of the criminal, we're not worried about that because yes, you are right. You are a nice person, but at the same time, you can smell bullshit, especially based on what job you're doing now.
Yes.
Okay.
Ideally.
So, you decided to become a judge because you talked to your husband. Good for the family.
Yeah. It's something I wanted to do anyway. But it's always a matter of timing, right? And this year worked out to be good timing. Every position was up. If I was gonna do it, now it makes sense. Our kids are a little older, not old enough to do anything on their own, obviously, but older than they were the last time. So it worked out in terms of the timing for our family too.
Mm-hmm. And so you have two boys, right?
I do.
How old are they?
We now have an 8-year-old and an almost 5-year-old.
Oh, I thought they were slightly older, but yeah.
No, they're tall, so that could be the confusion. But yeah, they're young.
Sports, right?
Yes.
Didn't you coach them for a while?
Baseball.
So I was a teen mom,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes a little mom is needed in a dugout to get the little friends to focus. So coaching, no. Helping, yes. And I regularly agree to help any of that stuff, right? Because anytime your kids are involved, you want that situation to be successful.
Weren't you doing like scorekeeping or something? What were you doing?
Oh my gosh, I was. Yes. That was a terrible idea. First of all, then you learn all the micro.
Do you even know the
stats.
numbers? Like who's 1, who's 2, who's 3?
Oh yeah.
In terms of when you started.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No. I had to have the conversation, like micro versus macro stats, right? Like I can say that kid went 2 bases. Most of it's on a throwing error, right? So technically I give that kid a double when he got a triple. Like that's just a scorekeeper
So
decision.
you gave him a double, and then you said got to third.
But
on
he
an
got to
error.
third on a throwing error, yeah. But like the micro stuff, like that kid over there caught the ball, or this one threw it here, or this one was like a fielder's error, any of that stuff, I wasn't getting into any of the weeds on that. Like I feel like that is just too detailed, and I don't actually know that stuff. So
Have you learned it since?
no, I refuse. But the general stuff, like that kid ran two, this one caught it, this one's a pop fly, whatever. I got that. So I had to do the scorekeeping because they needed a volunteer. They needed someone to volunteer as tribute. And I have a tendency to be the tribute that volunteers. So I did it because I had done it before. But oh my gosh, it takes the mystery out. Then you know exactly who's going to hit and how many hits they're going to get because you saw it all season. So on the playoffs, like I felt like it kind of killed a little bit of the magic for me. So I'm glad that they don't need me to help this year. The dads are taking care of that this time. So it's fine.
Okay, and then another thing, obviously your husband's a pilot, and we were all there when he went through flight school and all that stuff. But what's his schedule like?
So he gets currently at his current job because I don't know what the new job's gonna look like.
Should we talk about his new job? Does his old
No.
job know?
Yeah, they know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They did like a whole
Hey,
thing.
by the way, he's leaving you guys.
No, they know. Surprise! Hope you're not on. Yeah. So his old job, he worked a lot. He would accept extra shifts. He was a training captain, so he had to go in quite a bit to do extra stuff. He only had a few overnights. He had one last week actually, but for the most part, he was home almost every day.
So he does domestic flights then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, and he'll likely do domestic flights at least for a little while at the new airline. But I don't know, he was constantly working, and I'm a person that needs a schedule, and like I needed him to tell me like what his schedule was, but then it changed because as you know, if you've ever flown on an airplane, like sometimes that gets rowdy. Like
How'd that work for you last night, Tams?
yeah.
Tams went to Phoenix, I think, last night.
Got diverted to Phoenix.
Oh
and
no.
then weren't you doing loops above Vegas before you landed?
Oh no.
Yeah, they flew over Vegas, and then they were getting diverted to Phoenix.
Pretty sure
And then
that's
they're like,
Vegas.
okay, we're turning around.
Like
and
loop
then
Yeah.
just like doing like
This way?
loops around Vegas.
And they said
Something must have happened, or
well,
someone
they
must
said,
have come here.
as you guys could probably tell, we've been in the air for a minute, and we flew over Vegas. We're on our way to Phoenix, but now we're gonna go back to Vegas. So yeah, it was fun.
So that
A lot of heavy banks.
is really frustrating, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. I will tell you that Roy, my husband, he's like very good at this game, and obviously I don't know because I'm not a pilot, but there's my favorite example. I love him, so excuse me if I just do a shout out quick. Shout out. They tape all of the air traffic control conversations. Like anyone can look that up. You can Google it or whatever.
Oh,
No, seriously, now you know.
No.
You'd be bad.
No.
You'd be
No, you
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear me in court.
They tape it. So there was one day it was really windy, and my husband's a really good pilot. Like he's a training captain. He's really good at it. And everyone else was diverting because of the wind. They didn't feel like they could do it. He's like, I got this. So you don't have to
Let's
take that.
go.
So he's like flying in, and you can hear the air traffic people being like, who is that? And then he lands, and they're like, oh, it was Baharav. Oh my god. And they're like, well done. Like it was so funny. He told me that. He loves that job. So
Fuck it, I'm doing it live.
Yeah.
yeah, he loves that job. So
Permission for flyby.
he told me later. So that's the kind of those are the types of things that the captain can really modify your experience on an airline from what he's told me. So he flew his mom one time and did like the announcement thing. Oh my god, she was so excited. Yeah, so
That's cool.
I don't know. He loves that job. I'm really happy for him, and I think he'll be happy at the new airline too. But when he works at the other one, yeah, he was home more often.
So that's the question. When you have kids, obviously you got to schedule as a judge, and like,
Yeah.
there's kind of a joke we have, like justice court judges don't really have to work, and I'm sorry, I don't really mean it, but at the same time, y'all are
I
done
think
at,
they
like
work
fucking
hard.
11.
Unless it's a
district-
prelim.
What's that?
When I show up, they're like, ugh.
Yeah. But like, oh my god, a DA got mad at me the other day because I had to fucking put on a prelim. Like,
Why
what are
did
you
they give me
doing?
this our job?
Well, when everything didn't get bound over, I think she got doubly mad.
Oh, womp womp.
But like, so justice court judges we make jokes about, but district court judges, that's a legit
Yeah, it's a big kid job.
Yeah.
That is.
I know.
That's.
Yeah,
that's
and the
big
amount of
news.
motions you
Yeah.
have to go through,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, handily enough, I'm currently the chief of the fraud unit, and we get papered all the time. So that's not going to be that new for me.
But what I was going to say is, in a situation where you have a husband who is doing a job like that, and you have 2 kids, activities, all that shit, like how do you
Takes
schedule
a
around
lot of
that?
planning. So we just put a whiteboard calendar on our door that people can see, including the children, and both of them can read now, so it's actually helpful because they also understand what they're doing that day.
That's good because Jess can read at a 5th grade level.
Well done.
I can see pictures.
5th grade books don't have a lot of pictures, FYI. So yes.
Pictures.
So we have that, but it takes a lot of coordination. Who's going
It
to pick
does.
up, who's going to drop off, and all of that. But it takes a village. A lot of people have a village. I
Yeah.
have a village.
Now, your grandparents still in town?
No, my grandma, who is 92 this year.
Nice, grandma.
Yeah, she moved back to live in Illinois with my aunts, and she's doing awesome. I talked to her this morning, and then
That's funny, my grandpa turned 103 on the 17th. I didn't call him bad grandson.
He won't remember.
oh, maybe you should
He will.
listen. Oh no.
He can walk better than Jess, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
But she's my only living grandparent now. Yeah.
Sorry, bad memories.
It happens.
But folks still in Wisconsin?
My mom. My
Okay.
dad passed a couple years ago, but my
Oh,
mom's
fuck, I
still-
doubled down on being an asshole.
Oh no, you're fine. Look,
Thanks,
it is
Ben.
what it is. So yeah, she still lives in Wisconsin. She was just here last week visiting with my kids, actually.
And then your husband's folks, are they in town?
No, his dad. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it again.
Awesome.
His dad. Sorry, it was.
I'm
it
like
was
the
a rough,
angel of death with my
It
questions.
was a rough couple years.
Yeah.
Like 23, 24 was kind of hard. So his mom still is alive. His stepdad is in New York. His mom's in Israel,
Got it.
Ooh, that's not a good place to be right now.
and she can't get out. So
Fair, yeah.
there you are. Yeah. She said she'll come this summer though. It should be over by then.
Nothing like a Jewish grandmother, just saying.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing though. I love her so much.
Did
Yeah.
you have to convert?
I didn't have to convert. I
Did you
chose
convert?
to convert.
Good
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. We're Jewish.
Ish.
Jewish.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, now let's talk about a couple of things. One is, we talked about your trials, we talked about your background, but at the same time, like currently you are the chief of the,
Fraud unit.
and what does the fraud unit do?
We handle fraud.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I have an actual answer.
oh, we do.
Just messing with you.
She's so pretty.
That girl, yeah, the 27-year-old. So there is our team actually has a 3-pronged caseload, I like to call it. The first prong is obviously the fraud type stuff. So that's embezzlements or thefts or crypto crimes, grandparent scams, that kind of thing. We usually have a dollar value, but sometimes we go under that dollar value if it's a complicated case, and the track deputy is just like, no thanks. We also handle elder abuse and neglect and exploitation. That's the second prong.
And when you're talking about elder abuse, what you're talking about is like financial abuse, not necessarily
financial, physical, emotional.
Oh, you do physical as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a team, the special victims unit, that handles the sex abuse types of the cases
Correct.
with our elderly population if they do exist, and that's fine. They're really well equipped to handle that. So we handle the rest, I think. And then we also have
Who's the
a
DA
third
who
prong.
handles those mostly?
Oh, we share.
Yeah, but how many people are on your team?
Oh, 2, me and Austin.
Okay. So, and Austin's also running.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fraud fiasco if we both win. Well, whatever. So
I do.
at the end of the day, we also have a third prong, which is, I like to call them CF cases. They're complicated.
CF stands for clusterfuck. In
Thank
case you're
you.
wondering.
Thank you for saying it.
And
Not
I
me.
did not know that.
Thank you for saying that. Not me. But it was.
I
they're-
taught my girls what foobar means today.
Oh, that's better. We can
Yeah.
use that word.
What is that? I didn't.
Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yeah.
Foobar.
They're actually just more. They're the weird ones, like the practicing medicine without a license, or those types of things. So
Well, here's the situation. This is random and like legit don't know. I was just thinking about it the other day, and if you can answer, you can. If you can't, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But like this whole fucking Tony Shea thing where they found the will and the lawyer was dead, and
Yeah,
like,
super
they have the people suing that said Tony promised me this, and that his family's already got a bunch of shit and they're liquidating stuff. Like, do you guys get involved in that at all, or did you look at it and say pass? Meaning.
No one ever contacted us, as far as I know.
Okay, and there was no need to investigate in that situation.
So the way that we get, the way we get cases are through law enforcement, essentially. So
Yeah.
unless someone went to law enforcement, made a report, and they investigated, it came to us, we're not likely to see those
I think it's all in civil, right? Because the family.
No, it is. It is. But if there's
Yeah.
any like underlying stuff, like, did the lawyer,
Oh, I see.
create a fraudulent document,
Well, then isn't that lawyer deceased?
he is deceased,
Yeah,
but at the
so
same time, like,
who are you going to prosecute?
did people conspire with him to make a fraudulent document? All that type of
I
stuff.
don't know. Ultimately, I haven't been made aware of any investigation on that.
Yeah.
Not to mean it doesn't exist. I don't know about it.
No, yeah, and I was curious. Like I said, I didn't know. I didn't hear anything. I figured you or I would both know, but yeah.
Probably by now. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think so.
All right. So, in the fraud unit, you deal with a lot of vulnerable people. You
Yes.
talk about the elderly. You talk about, there's always a situation where somebody comes into money, and then there's somebody who's going to siphon it off. Fair?
Sometimes, yeah.
And so, how do you assess those situations? How do you handle those situations?
So something that's a little bit different about fraud cases as opposed to cases that involve violence, we have a lot of documents. They're very document-heavy cases. I know I've papered both of you with our large
no idea what you're
discovery
talking
dumps. Our discovery
All
dumps.
my people are not guilty.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't get discovery. So when we look through the paperwork, what we're trying to see is there corroboration? And I know that technically corroboration isn't always necessary, but if we're going forward to a trial or we're going to get to that place, corroboration, especially on financial type crimes, is really key in having people understand what occurred. So
Okay, and let me cut you off there, because what I want to tell the audience is corroboration means, like, I'm not trying to say y'all are stupid, because you're not. But what I'm saying is when we as defense attorneys and when we as prosecutors, because I did it for a minute on the JV team, like I talked about, but what you're doing is you're assessing, can I prove my case? Can I look at these set of facts? Can I look at the evidence I have, the documents, the testimony, phone records, whatever? Can I prove my case? And the reason I bring this up is one of the things that's currently in the news right now, and I told Colleen I was going to talk about it because it's too controversial and stuff like that, is there was a child case where a gentleman allegedly, well, actually not allegedly, he did kill a child. And one of the things is he got 5 years probation, and everybody's coming down really hard on the DA's office right now about, corruption or giving this guy a break and all this stuff. That case had issues, and what that means is the DA couldn't necessarily prove what they want to prove. They have a belief, but you can have a belief and not be able to get there. And that's kind of what Colleen's talking about as well. So in a situation where you see something where a guy gets 5 years for murdering a child, it's not an outrage, or it shouldn't be an outrage. It sucks. 100% sucks. That poor child shouldn't have died. But there was some issue in the case that caused the DA's office to not be able to prove it. And so when you get a conviction in that situation, it has to be a win. It sucks. It's not what the public wants to hear. But sometimes there are issues where you can't prove your case. And so what you're talking about is that you're in a situation where you have to read all that stuff and you have to say, can I get from point A, which is charging this dude, to the final point, which is convicting this dude?
right, it's exactly right. So
that's what you have
sometimes you
to
can
do.
and sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the fraud type things, we look for the documents, especially on some of these grandparent scams. You have information that you can see the withdrawals from the account, which is a corroboration for that victim saying, I took this money out and gave to that person. Now we have a lot of people with Ring cameras and things like that. And even depending on wherever the money occurs, sometimes they're doing things where they're sending an Uber driver over to pick it up or a Lyft driver to pick it up. And so then we have records showing that the Lyft driver went there at the time the person said they gave them the stuff.
And in a situation like that, you're looking at who the account is that sent the Uber driver.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of times once that money's deposited, it's immediately dispersed. So those cases are really time sensitive. We also have the other cases, of course, where we have bank records, which we're going through to see whether or not someone took something. We have gambling records to see whether or not they gambled money, especially if they took the money in cash and then all of a sudden their gambling went up. So we're looking towards those things.
Also titles, car titles, house titles.
Yeah, all of that. When we have cases involving elder abuse or elder fraud, we're looking at, sometimes we're looking at documents that are more, you would expect more in family court, like guardianship documents, power of attorney documents, medical records, of course, those types of things. So, and then the third prong, it's just kind of whatever shows up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Those would be the CF cases.
Yeah, those are them.
All right. And so how long have you've been chief of the fraud unit for a minute, but like how long have you been doing fraud cases?
Since 2019.
Okay, so you've been doing that for 7 years. Before that, what did you do?
So before that, right before that, I spent 3 years on the vehicular crimes team.
Okay, and what is vehicular crimes for the
So
units?
that is reckless driving, leaving the scene. At the time, they were doing stop required on signal of a police officer, so like evading a police officer, and then the DUI collisions and deaths, substantial bodily harms, and misdemeanor DUIs.
Okay. And so over this period of time, like, and we've talked about this, we've talked about it with Pete, we've talked about it in the past. If you've done a jury trial, you're already in the top 10% of attorneys who have tried a case in the entire nation. If you've done more than 10, you're in the top 1% of jury trials in the entire nation. It sounds crazy, but that's actually true.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Approximately how many trials have you done?
33.
There you go.
You know exactly the number?
Yeah, I have to keep a track.
You do?
Somebody needs to know that. Yes.
Good for you.
Well, also, I'm in the fraud unit. We
We
keep stats.
I don't know. Do you know the number?
It's more than 70.
I got like 40 or 50. Like
I can tell you the number of motions I've written. I can tell you how many.
Fucking what?
How many times I've been. Yeah, I
What's
don't
up,
many
Rain
motions have
Man?
you
What's
written?
going on?
764.
Jesus, Lord,
Yeah.
Mary, Joseph.
Or
How do you
responded to
know?
some of them because
How do you know
I
this?
have a way to keep track. Like it's all in the same folder, and
Holy-
I divide it up by subject so our young friends can look. You can tell my mom I say young friends. Our young prosecutors can go in and look and see whatever they're looking for.
Like a
and
motion
use it.
bank?
Yeah, I have my own motion bank.
You like
And I
Colleen's
made
motion
it
bank.
accept. Yeah.
Oh my God, do you have like shit color coded, like your animals, like your clothes?
At my house, yes. Well, it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for. If it's
I'm going to say organization is something I do not have, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
commend you.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
amazing.
the chief of the fraud unit should be organized. You would think.
I
so.
hope so.
Yeah,
What's
you would
funny is I
hope
did a
so.
shit ton of white collar back in the day too, and like, yeah,
There's just too much paperwork
you
to be
just rely on
disorganized.
somebody else to make sure that shit's online.
No, we don't have that kind of manpower at the DA's office. So yeah, so we do that, and then I know how many times I've presented at the grand jury. I know how many times I've done a prelim. I know all of that stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things. I talked about it with Pete. I'll talk about it with you. Like when I was a prosecutor, and obviously I say JV team, blah blah blah. But like,
Still important.
when you're going to trial, and more so earlier. I mean, I remember that one guy we had where.
The gun in the car.
No. I was thinking about the guy who ran his mouth, and then the judge gave him like extra time.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Like the guy talked himself into, I think, like 20 years or something like that, because he was very aggressive. But in your line of work, you are sending people to jail or prison. Like, how did you reconcile that as an early DA?
So the end result is that the judge made those choices on
Oh,
where they went to
passing the buck.
prison. No, I'm not. I'm just explaining kind of how I look at it. So something that is really important, I think, for any prosecutor to remember is that every person that you're interacting with, whether it's a person who's claiming to be a victim or a person who's claiming to be defendant, could be switched tomorrow.
Fair.
So when you're interacting with people, generally speaking, we're treating them like human beings, extremely important, and will serve you well just generally. In terms of the ultimate consequence of things that happen on my cases, I think there's some cases where you know that that person can't be in the community or supervised in the community because they've demonstrated before that they're not going to be successful. So in that scenario, as a prosecutor, when you're looking at making negotiations with people and you're going that route, it should be based on a reason, right? Not just because you don't like somebody. And every time I've interacted with both of you and every time I interact with most of our defense counsel, I keep that in mind, that I should be able to articulate why it is that I'm doing or asking for what I'm asking for, because you also need to articulate that to your client. So my father actually went to prison. So I'm
Learning new things today.
surprise. So I am aware that when those choices are made, that impacts everybody in the family. And I've never taken that lightly.
Okay, and so I guess, like, and I don't want to push, like, obviously
You can push.
pass.
It's all
Like,
public record anyway.
No, I don't even give a shit about that. I'm a friend, and I don't want to do that to you.
Oh.
But at the same time, like, what was that effect on? I don't know how old you were.
So I was 6. And
Okay.
actually one of my first memories was the reason why he ultimately got sent to prison. It was arson. So my father struggled with addiction his entire life.
Okay.
And at one point he was my mom had packed us up and we'd left, and I was at a sleepover at someone's house down the street because I still had friends down the street. And my mom like let me hang out there for some. She was nice, I guess. Yeah, so she let me hang out down the street. So I remember waking up and I saw a fire, and I was like, uh-oh. And you know, when you're a kid, you tell your you tell the grown up, hey, what's that? So I remember telling them that, and then I remember seeing my dad after that happened, and after that, I didn't know what was going on because I was like 5 or 6.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention, but I've pieced it together afterwards, obviously, because when you apply for the district attorney's office, you have to put down your background, including the background of some of your family. And so I had to check into it because I had to be able to answer the question on, you know, if there's anyone in your family ever gone to prison. Yes, it turns out. So in the Midwest, and I don't think it exists here, but in the Midwest there are low risk prisons where people can like get checked out on the weekends.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like Casa Grande.
Like a little furlough thing.
Yeah.
And Casa Grande, what it is it's a, for lack of a better term, it's kind of a halfway house in town.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's technically a prison, and so technically you were in prison.
Yes.
However, it's like a halfway house where you can get out, you work, you have a curfew.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you work and you go to the bar. It's like you work and you come back.
Yeah, because they pay attention. So we still saw my dad after that happened. We saw him on the custody weekends that we were with him, but we were with my grandparents at the time. So my mom didn't even realize that my dad had actually been sentenced to a period of incarceration because she was like, well, why am I still dropping you off at their house then? And I was like, I don't know, I'm 7. So like, I don't know. But ultimately, looking back at it, he was in that type of Casa Grande-esque place. And really it came from a place of it was an untreated addiction. But
was this something like he left a pipe out and it caught the
he
place
was
on
throwing
fire?
cigarettes behind a chair. And my mom wasn't cleaning anymore because she wasn't there. So there was paper.
That sounds like something somebody on this panel would do.
Hopefully he's not pointing at me. So
Cigarettes?
Cigarettes.
yeah. I don't know. Well, look, it was like the late 80s,
Well,
early
fair, you
90s.
may
You know,
know. I'm
it was a
just
different
teasing.
time. It was a different time.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the impact on our family,
I would probably do that too.
It had a larger impact on my grandparents too, right? Because they were dealing with that, the blowback of that. And my grandfather was a cop in Chicago, so.
Oh shit! I forgot about that too.
Yeah, so they were dealing with the blowback of that. They never really put that on us, so I didn't get to see that. I just knew that I didn't see my dad that often, and when I did see him, like he had to go back at a specific time, right? For my mom, she had even no idea that it occurred, but she didn't get child support. So she was a single mom with 4 kids making like less than $20,000 a year. So yeah. So it's hard. And when you take away a person who's essentially the primary earner, because that's typically what the argument is, the whole family suffers.
Yeah. And so tell me how that's going to color you on the bench.
I think it gives me a greater depth of perspective than just someone who came from family with no real drama, had parents who paid for all the things, they went to school, they got out of school, and they're just seeing it from the outside looking in. I'm kind of from the middle looking both ways.
And I'm going to throw some shade here, but at the same time, like realize a couple of things. One, and Colleen's going to tell me I'm wrong and all this stuff in a second, so wait for it.
Oh, yeah.
But you will find that most of the people who become district attorneys, they're competitive jobs. And if you have an in, it's always great. So if you're privileged, if you know somebody, if you're a judge's kid, there are a lot of ins for people who are privileged into a prosecution type job. And one of the things and one of the issues you have is that you're having people who grew up privileged talk about things that they don't necessarily understand. Like the idea of, where's my next meal going to come from?
Yeah.
Is my power going to be turned off?
Yeah.
Am I going to be hungry going to school? These are things that a certain part of the population and, a large percentage of prosecutors, and I love the people I know who are prosecutors, I'm not trying to be a dick, but long and short of it is they're very privileged. Their depth of understanding doesn't hit that point where they can understand how dad's rather going to take a hit than go to work and take care of their family.
Yeah. At least initially, but I would say I wouldn't just limit that to prosecutors. I would say on both sides. Because I've had conversations.
Yeah, fair.
I've had conversations with some attorneys on the other side where I was like, "Honey, not everyone loves their kids."
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'd say a higher percentage of prosecutors in terms of PDs. I agree with you, but it's lower percentage. That's all I would say.
Yeah, but ultimately, law school is a self-selecting group, right? You have to get the grades to get into the law school. Then you have to be able to afford to go to law school. So ultimately, you may not have, because of the resources necessary, if you don't qualify for scholarships or whatever, you just might not have that life experience.
Or if you don't understand the process of applying for loans and things like that as well to get a law school.
Yeah,
which,
100%.
You know, if you're the first person who went to college in your family,
Which I
you
was.
don't necessarily know how to navigate certain things.
Which I didn't.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not the only one. So I think because I have that, not even just my depth, but the rest of it, that depth of experience perspective, it will help me remember that everyone in front of me is a real person, even if it's a civil case too, because it's also
we're
their
about
worst
to get
day.
into civil in a
It's the
second.
worst day of their life also, typically when they're in court.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because you went to law school, you came into law school, you instantly went to prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you did do some appellate work and stuff like that. But my understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that you're going to inherit a mixed calendar, fair?
Essentially, that is my understanding. Yeah.
Okay, and what a mixed calendar is it's going to be half criminal and the other half is going to be civil. And so civil is the personal injury stuff that Jess and I do, you know, daily. It's also things like, you know, construction defect, which is if you have a problem with your house, whose fault is it, who has to fix it, things of that nature. Additionally, it's contracts like, you know, did this business embezzle, did this business, you know, operate in a certain correct fashion, you know, did this business agree to do something with another business and that business failed to follow through. Like these are all things that you haven't really been exposed to.
Looking forward to it.
Yes. So, this organization with color stamps and 577 motions.
Don't forget the label maker.
Oh, wow. How are you going to tackle that?
So it won't be the first time I'm exposed to it at all. So that, at least
Explain
that's
that.
good. In law school, as you know, many people work, at least during the summer. And before law school, I actually worked at a large law firm in Milwaukee, Foley and Lardner, where we did a
I
lot
believe
of...
that's pronounced Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
No. The good land. That's what you wanted to say, the rest of that. So I was able to get exposed, right? Because a lot of what people are concerned about when you become a judge making decisions on their cases, like you have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Agreed.
And yeah, fair enough. But ultimately, the preparation is helpful and the exposure to understanding like, oh, hey, I remember hearing about this. I know where to look for the information. That's something that I'm going to go back to the annals for, right? I did that but pre-law school. And then during law school, I worked at an insurance defense firm
Ew.
for a summer. I also worked for the Judge Advocate General Corps. And yeah, for one of my other
And
summers.
that's military attorneys.
Yeah, they take 25 1L students. I was one of the 25 1L students in the whole country.
1L means it's after
Super
your first
fun.
year of law school.
And I ended up in Kentucky, right by Fort Knox. No, it was actually lovely. And but thank you for bringing that one up. And I think that experience was a good reminder of like the types of work that our civil friends do. I also have a lot of friends who practice in civil, and since it's come out that I'm not going to have an opponent, I have received so much good information on where to look to refresh my recollection and all of those things. So I usually carry around, I didn't bring my purse today, but I usually carry around the rules of civil procedure, and I'm working through them, going back and trying to remember, you know, the rules, specific rules for this jurisdiction. I also am, because we do fraud, we often have a civil case that's ongoing
Correct.
at the same time, and I'm not unfamiliar with the complaints and the motions and the counter motions and all that stuff. So I'm just refreshing my memory about all that. And because I don't have an opponent and I don't have to go to all of the campaign things, I have the time to be able to look into that.
That's good.
And one of the things you worry about, and I'm going to say this is me once again spilling the tea, which is not necessarily something that people in my job should do. But one of the things you always worry about with prosecutors, they tend to be conservative in terms of, you know, they're prosecuting individuals, they look at things in a certain fashion. And so when you're talking about like a car accident or something like that, if there's minor damage, sometimes you're like, oh, they might rule against me because, you know, minor damage, and they're just like, you're full of shit, things like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The harm isn't so great, so why are we wasting resources? Is that what
Yes.
you're worried about? So luckily, I don't have to make those calls. If you've brought the case, the law is what the law is, so you just have to follow it.
But why is it luckily you don't have to make that call?
Because you decide. Yeah, if you
Fair
take the
enough.
case and you file the complaints, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, hey, I only have 2 prosecutors this week. This case doesn't have a lot of injury. I have to resolve this case because I can't take the time that prosecutor away from the other things they have to do. So it's a different analysis that you go through, I think, when you're making decisions on cases as opposed to having to move forward with that with the lack of resources you have.
Fair enough.
I do have a question. I don't know if we've answered this, but what made you want to be a DA? Have you always knew you wanted
No,
to be a DA?
I didn't know. Yeah.
Versus as been in justice criminals.
I thought I was going to work on trademarks and copyrights. That's what I
that's
thought.
boring shit.
Oh my god. Well, here I am in fraud. So
Next to real estate.
it is what it is. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna watch this paint dry over here.
I really thought that's what would happen, but ultimately, when the economy tanked, for lack of a better word, the world opened, right? Because now, instead of thinking that that's the path that you're going to take, you can look and see other things. Since the time I was little, I've hated bullies. I always have. My little sister had a tendency to get people, because she was adorable, so people were constantly picking on that kid. So, like, I was constantly having to be like, "That's my sister, leave her alone." And if I'd been paying attention, I would have realized that essentially what we do is interact with bullies all the time, right? In the DA's office, it's people trying to take advantage or harass someone for whatever the crime is. In the defense side, it's trying to make sure the government's not bullying their client or going over and above the rule that they have. So it's essentially the same.
In the personal injury side, the big insurance company is bullying the poor person who doesn't know what's going on, and it's our job to protect their rights.
It's a worry about someone's voice not being heard or not going out there. So if I'd been paying attention, I would have realized this was right field. But I actually came out for an interview in 2008, actually November 2008, and it went poorly, very badly, like to the point where I was getting into a disagreement with somebody about the law, because I'm like, listen, I understand that that's what you're telling me, but I don't know that to be true. I need to look into it. Here's the law in the state that I'm from. Let me tell you what that's about, and I'll get back to you. And so instead of, they were trying to on purpose, because at the time I was 12.
Here's the dirty little secret about the DA's office. Their interviews are to put you as uncomfortable as you fucking
They're better
possibly
now.
can be.
They're better now.
Well, that's because,
they're better now. But at the time, it was different. At the time, it was different. And at the time, I mean, I have this voice, right? This high voice. And at the time, my face matched. So it was like, looks like a 12-year-old, sounds like a 12-year-old. This kid's going to crumble as soon as you challenge her on something. And so the idea was, can you challenge this person who has the grades and whatever to come here? Can you challenge this person? Will they be fine? Because in court, you guys were never that mean to me. But for the most part, like initially at least, some people were really trying. So I thought it went really badly, because like in Wisconsin, we don't talk to people like that. Like, we're not just sitting there fighting with you in an interview. Like, yeah. So I was like, I wasted my time. At least I got to see my grandparents, but that's over. So when they called me, I'm at the mock trial championship in Texas, FYI. So I was not focused on that. I was like trying to remember my opening to like say it. They called me and I was like, who is this? And they explained it was Christopher.
New phone, who dis?
Yeah, it was Christopher Lawley. He's the one that called me, and I was like, "Are you sure?"
His initials monogrammed on his shirts, by the way. Just want to point that out.
You should get that. It's actually really classy.
No, it's not.
It's really classy.
No.
So
Trying too hard.
No, it's really classy.
Sure.
So he called me, and I was like, are you sure you have the right person? Because I remember that interview apparently very differently. What I learned later was they were just really trying to make sure I wasn't going to crumble under the pressure. So I actually was like, I'm going to have to get back to you. I'm about to do something right now. So like, how many days do I have here to figure this out? And he's like, I don't know, maybe soon. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I eventually got back to them. Obviously, I called my brother, actually. I called my older brother, talked to him about it, because he at that point was the only one from our family that had moved out of Wisconsin. And he's like, do it. Even if you don't like it, you can always come back, but like, you need to go, you need to see something else, go somewhere else, be something else. And so after I did my opening, I called him back, and then I took the job.
Okay, now let's talk about that bullying. Let's talk about bigism. All right?
Bigism?
Bigism, because it's a problem.
Define it.
And it's my thing is that when I was a kid, I used to get picked on by these little fucking girls who would claw the shit out of me, but because I was the bigger guy, I always got accused of being a bully. But they got away with it simply because they were smaller than me. That's bullshit.
It sounds like a personal concern that you have. Yeah.
Agreed. I'm a voter.
Listen, people.
None of the above.
I just have to vote for myself. So I think there was a long history of that being a thing where they just didn't believe you. But I don't
my
think
mom
that's
was the fucking worst.
I don't think that's happening
so many
anymore.
mommy issues because of that.
I don't think that's happening anymore.
And Jess doesn't care because he's 5'2".
He's taller than me, actually. Did you know that?
Yes.
He's
You
taller
look
than
like
Sage
you're
too.
At least 2 or 3 inches
I'm
taller
like
than me.
5'7". That's what my
Yeah.
license says.
Yeah. I believe you.
Start
I'm
with a
5'3".
doctor.
You are 4 inches
Thank
taller
you.
than me.
Thank
yeah.
you, Colleen. That's why
Okay.
I'm voting for you.
So,
Bigism.
You get
nailed
me.
it. I don't think that's happening so more. I think people are a lot more cognizant of the fact that anyone can cause harm to another person, not just men versus women. And so, or
No,
older
small
versus
people.
younger, or small versus big. I think people are a little bit more cognizant of that, especially in my own house. Sometimes my little son, they're both very tall, but the 4-year-old sometimes is like
He's 5.
almost.
Almost fine.
Next month. He's like, my brother hit me. And I was like, honey, I know that didn't happen. I'm sitting right here. And my older son's like, Mom. I'm like, bro, relax. I got this. Yeah, so it's just
Hold my beer.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. Yeah, so I think it's different now. I would like to think it's different now.
All right. How do you separate work from personal life?
I have a half an hour drive home some days. I have a dance party in the car.
Nice.
I recommend it, honestly. Just get that joy right back into your life and turn off the rest.
What kind of music?
Doesn't matter.
I'm kind of worried about the dance party in the car. I understand like having a
You
rocking
can't
out in
sing?
the car. Well, dance is physical, whereas singing.
You don't move around when you're driving? You don't like sit there the whole time like this? You can't do this?
10 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can do that too, but you
Ben's
can
car
wiggle
is
your
way too small for him to
Ben's
move.
doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, you can wiggle your shoulders. No, it's more of a like a chance. I call it a dance party, but it's more of a chance to let out whatever happened that day and like bring back in the mom.
And the awesome thing about kids, obviously,
Yeah.
is kids keep you young and they also make you remember perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I remember one of the first things that I asked Ben when I first started working here, because law was
Different.
completely different. So when I was being exposed to like these cases that he had,
And I do a lot of sex cases, which you know.
Yeah,
And I was
secondary
like,
traumas for real on this.
how, especially that he has kids, I was like, how do you separate from that as you being a girl dad, especially a girl dad?
I am a girl
was
dad.
So I was like,
Proudly.
Yeah.
How do you separate that? So I was like,
You don't.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, you don't. So, my kids have slept over at my sister's house. Full stop. That's it. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
you know what's funny? It's
Yeah.
Coley, she was at her friend's house Sunday night. It was spring break, so what was that? That was Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ended.
And so, it was interesting, because I'm not used to.
Until they're much bigger and like you know that there's
Verbal.
that trust there where they're going to be able to tell you exactly what happened, then maybe there's a chance to revisit. But I am more paranoid. My husband will certainly acknowledge that than he is. Like I assume it's a scam until I know it's not, and I don't let my kids interact with someone I don't know or I haven't checked into using publicly available websites, etc. So like
Publicly only public.
no, seriously. They first of all they audit that and they should. But
No, I know they do. I used to have access to that.
yeah,
shit too,
they should audit it. But secondly, you can find out a lot from just a simple Google search. And I'm not going to let those kids sleep over at anyone's house. Probably
one of-
until they're much, much, much older.
One of the things we're talking about is there's a system that's called NCGIS, National Criminal, whatever it is. Long and short of it is it's the criminal history of the people in the
Yeah.
nation. As a prosecutor, I had access to it. Obviously, Colleen has access to it currently.
Yeah.
But you were only supposed to look up the people that are involved in
In
a
your
case you
case.
have.
Yeah.
There was a large period of time from, I'd say, about 2000 to 2012, 15-ish. You'd have, court staff who would be looking up people's boyfriends.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You would have prosecutors, I'm not saying who, but you would have prosecutors looking up DMV records if they found a girl who was cute, so they could find out what her address was. You remember that shit?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's so
Well,
creepy.
that's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Slightly. And so
It
people
was a
did-
different time.
Yeah, people definitely abuse the system. It has changed. It's gotten a lot better in terms of, professional access to the
Yeah.
systems as opposed to abusing it. But yes,
So listen,
that's what
though.
she says. She's using publicly available
In
websites.
only public available websites. So there was a time when I was on the domestic violence unit too. It was before the vehicular crimes, and after the original I started. I would teach some of the young people that came in, men and women, how to look people up on the Las Vegas Municipal Court website, the Justice Court website, the District Court website, just to do a simple Google search, because ultimately you can find out a lot of information about a person you're going to interact
You
with.
have no idea how much information is on the internet. Like y'all think you,
Yeah, you do.
Public.
Just Google
y'all
yourself.
think you know,
Just
but
Google
at the same
yourself.
time, there's even more once you have and for lack of a better term, it's specialized knowledge, but
Yeah.
it's really not. Like Sage knows how to look people up.
Yeah,
and
see,
things
you
as
can
well.
see yours.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
yeah.
see? Pull that up
Exactly.
again. Pull that up again.
Look at all your cute pictures.
Look at
yeah.
that. Look at this guy.
So
Good old
there's
Kyle.
there's a lot of privacy settings
Two-tone
and stuff
Kyle.
that you can fix, but some people don't have their Instagram or their Facebook private, and so you can just there's a lot of information you can find. So I would be I'm just very careful about that type of thing. My husband doesn't have that background, and so he doesn't really think about it too hard. The secondary trauma, though, with the cases that you get, that's ultimately why maybe a dance party on my home could be necessary.
Yeah, and I mean, my thing is that like you have to separate that. Like
Yeah.
you can't. There's professional Ben, and then there's dad, and
Yeah.
there's terrible shit that we all have seen. Trust me.
Yes, unfortunately, that is true.
And there are ways to deal with it. I have a story that I've told with Jess like a million times, and it's terrible. But we as prosecutors, we as defense attorneys, we see terrible shit every day. And so we have often developed a twisted sense of humor to deal with shit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's not like, we're not really fucked up people.
Yeah.
It's just that's how you have to deal with stuff.
That's your release. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
release it somehow. You gotta laugh at it.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh at
But
it.
if you would let me say anything to your clients right now, because I know it's them and other people that watch, anytime someone texts you or emails you or calls you and tries to create an emergency for you, like if you don't do this right now, a warrant's going to issue. If you don't do this right now, someone's going to steal your money. If you don't do this right now, you're going to lose access to whatever. That's a scam. Assume it's a scam. Just be careful. That's all I
Yeah,
can
no,
say.
because I filed all the things I was supposed to do and nothing.
I just don't answer my phone.
That's also better.
better
That's
technique.
better.
Better
So when you get that code on your phone and it says we will never call you, they actually mean it. They will never call you for that code. You literally should never ever 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 tell anyone what that code is in your email or your phone.
Mhm. And if you get a text from DMV, it's bullshit.
It's 100%. Yeah.
Or for a
Yep.
traffic ticket.
For a
Yeah.
traffic ticket, that's a new one, right?
So
Yeah.
the
Traffic
IRS
ticket.
still uses snail mail.
Right,
FYI.
right. I was
And-
never.
And the DMV
yeah.
also uses snail mail. So you can sign up for the My DMV account and then they will send emails that direction. But for the most part, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me tell people about fraud.
Okay. So how excited are you to start in January?
I'm excited. I think anytime you're starting a new job, though, there's some trepidation, right?
Yeah, well, there's a different level of politics you have to deal with, right?
I'm
you
not
have to
planning
deal
on
with,
dealing with it.
Well, no, you have to deal with county administrative politics. you
Oh,
know.
sure. But we have a chief judge that will handle a lot of that, I think. So,
Oh, Huggy Bear, I love it.
Who's civil chief?
Tara Clarkneyberry?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so, right?
I'm trying to get her on.
Clarkenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah,
is-
so I don't know. Ultimately, I don't have because that being a law clerk allowed me that time to learn how the office worked, right? I'm not going to have that time to learn exactly how it works. So I've been trying to get some information up in advance, but ultimately, until you start, you're not going to know how the organization is structured. So that's going to be interesting, kind of learning how that works. The making decisions on the law is something I do every day right now, right?
Yeah.
So the law will be different. Some of the law will be different. Some of it I wouldn't have seen before, but ultimately it's a similar process and a similar thought process. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be a new challenge.
Perfect. And I think this is probably a good place to end because Anthony's giving me that nod. All right, guys. From the beach to the bar, Jess and my podcast. Thank you, Colleen, for being on. This is Colleen Brown. She will be the judge in District Court Department
24.
24 starting in January. She's an amazing person. You don't have to vote for her because she's already going to win. Because she has no opponent, but also because she's an amazing person.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on this. This was actually really fun.
Thanks.
And I wish you nothing but good things.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Deuces!